It is now officially 7 o'clock, and some 40 seconds past, so we will go ahead and start this meeting for April 11th, 2023. My watch doesn't have that on there. Everyone, please stand for invocation and pledge. Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day. Lord, we ask that you allow us as elected leaders to make the best decisions for the people that put us here. Lord, we ask that you keep us from short-sightedness and pettiness. In your Son's name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Giovanna, if I may please get a roll call.
Rose Beach. Here. Amy Long. Here. Harry Courtney. Sherry Snowden.
Here.
Dan Martin.
Here.
Matt Brown.
Here.
Why did I say Terry Courtney?
All right, a few quick announcements. April 20th through the 23rd will be our spring cleanup at the Public Works Building on High School Court. If you have any questions on what is able to be thrown away, please see either our Facebook page or our city website. May 2nd, we will have a caucus meeting, 6:30 p.m., council chambers at City Hall. May 9th will be an events planning meeting, 6 p.m., and a council meeting following 7 p.m. here at the Senior Center. May 29th, City Hall will be closed in honor of Memorial Day. Actually, I believe we will actually we'll also be doing a Memorial Day ceremony on 29th. Okay, if I could I please get an approval of the agenda?
Second that. Rose Beach.
Yes.
Amy Long.
Yes.
Sherry Snowden.
Yep.
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
And with that, could I get an approval of the minutes for March 7th caucus meeting, March 14th council meeting? In the past, you all have motioned to combine. You may do so if you would like.
Motion to approve as a combined unit?
Second.
Rose Beach.
Yes.
Amy Long.
Yes.
Sherry Snowden.
Yes.
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
Okay. Moving forward, before we get to business of the evening, I have a proclamation for the city of Walton. It reads, "To all whom these presents shall come, whereas in the federal fiscal year 2020, 44,985 reports were made to Child Protective Services in Kentucky, and whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone, and whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of Walton, and whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse, and whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based organizations, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. And now I, Mayor Gabriel D. Brown, do hereby proclaim April 2023 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month in the city of Walton, and call upon all citizens to urge all citizens to do their part in recognizing and preventing child abuse. In witness whereof I have set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Walton to be hereto affixed.
I might have forgot. All right, moving forward, Sheriff's Department, we have a report, council, you all have that to read. Major Mark is in training, will not be here tonight. Chief Vest is in Panama. Someone said he's lying on the beach with an excessive amount of tanning oil, but I don't know that that's true. So we have Assistant Chief Ollier here tonight. Sir, how are you?
Good, how are you all? Actually, you called me the other day, said it's raining most of the time.
Oh, too bad. That is terrible.
All right, in front of you, I have given you the report for the first quarter of 2023, showing our incidents that take place, especially the one you're interested in the city limits of Walton. We've had 122 in the first quarter, 122 EMS runs. EMS is always going to be our busiest. Really nothing of significance other than we have noticed a small downtrend in overdoses, which is always good. For the month of March, there were only 3. And overdoses are also tagged in with poisonings as well. So, other than that, there's really nothing of great significance, anything out of the ordinary that we've had to deal with. Everything's been pretty standard up to this point. Any questions about this report?
No, I have a question about the fire Friday.
Yes, sir.
Was you on that call?
I was, yes.
Do you know what caused that?
We do not yet. The homeowner's insurance fire investigator is still checking into that. I know he was out there today. They received a report from us, and we're working with them, getting them as much information as we can so that they can do that. We're hoping that their investigator will be able to get a report soon to figure out what the cause is. It is probably unintentional the way it looks. It looks like it's something that started well before we got the call. The homeowner, one of the residents reported that 3 o'clock in the morning he went out to smoke a cigarette and he smelt something, sounded like it was burning, but he didn't really think it was his place. And then 4 hours later we get the call and it was pretty far along by the time we got there. So something inside the building. It's easy to say electrical, but everything's electrical. It seems like the fire service sometimes. Their fire investigators, he was there before we even left. He was there doing things to start his investigation. So he should have an answer very soon. And we've asked that once he has his answer, let us know so we're aware.
You guys did a great job
It was,
down there.
It was a tough fight. There
Yeah.
was a lot of stuff inside, a lot of chemicals. My fire SUV is speckled still with a bunch of debris on it. So it was a tough one, but the guys did really well. They stuck with it. It wore them out, but they stuck with it. You know, held it to the garage and kept it away from the house. The house is pretty close if you're not familiar with the address. The house was less than 10 feet away from the garage apartment. We managed to keep it contained to the house and save the house.
Good deal. Chief, let me ask you on a unrelated topic. You talked about the downtick in overdoses. And do you think that's something that's been with the opioid prevention measures through the state? Is there something you could identify as to a reason for that? Is it, Major Mark has mentioned before that it's usually kind of cyclical on drugs. Like they put in a lot of money for heroin prevention a while back, and you saw an uptick in things like methamphetamines. Is there something that you can identify that's a potential reason for this? Best guess, even. I mean, just
If I had to guess, it's probably a combination of things. It's probably the campaign that they're out there, law enforcement, the state has done to try to make more people aware of the dangers of recreational and illegal use of drugs, painkillers and stuff like that. I also think it's now that everybody is kind of free of the COVID thing and getting out and getting back to work and nobody, stuck at home. We noticed a big uptick during that time. A lot of people were home, they, out of jobs and, couldn't get out, and, that tended to lead to a small uptick in the overdoses. Now that everybody's kind of back to it, I think that's what's caused our numbers to slowly start dropping again. Probably a combination of the two.
okay, great. And just I don't want to grill you too much here, but
That's what I'm hearing.
do you have any idea of during that time or just in general with overdoses, how do we compare, or how have we compared to maybe other cities in the area? Or
I think we're probably on the low end here in Walton. We see a lot more towards the urban areas of Florence, for instance, the bigger cities. And strangely enough, further down south, like in Grant County, they see quite a bit. And I think it has to, down there, I think it's an economical thing, whereas up here, it's just, in the urban cities, it's a lot easier to get a hold of. So,
thank you very much. Council, any more questions for Chief?
Good, thank you.
the only other thing I've got is we're happy to announce that in March sometime, we'll be launching a new program that works with our station management software. I'll have more information, or Chief Best will have more information at the next council meeting. But this software is called Community Connect. It's for the community to get online, sign up for a free account, a free secure account, and basically what it does is it connects their address with our fire department, and if there's any information about their residence or their business that they want to put on there that they think that we should need to know, pets, how many pets, where a handicapped person's bedroom may be, any dangers in their property, they can fill out that form. They can update it regularly, and anytime that we get a call to that residence, we'll have that information live, straight available to us. So it's a way for them to be able to give us some information before we get there, and it's also a way for us to put out information to those people as well. Get in touch with the public a little bit better. We can announce CPR classes, change your clocks, change your battery programs, and stuff like that. So there's a lot more information that we'll have. It's in the build phase right now. We hope to release that sometime in May, and we're going to do a big campaign to try to get the information out to everybody, make them aware that it's there, and it's free for them to use, and it's beneficial for all of us.
You should have led with that. That sounds fantastic. That's a good
Fun to
one.
talk about.
Anything that we can do, man, I'm sure I'll talk with Chief when he gets back. But Chief, anything we can do to help you all promote that from our end,
we've got-
city website or the Walton app.
Yeah, we've got a whole lot planned out. We're gonna, ask for your all's help, put it on the website, Old Fashioned Day in several months. We're gonna do a big campaign there. We've got a lot of stuff coming, so, yeah, we'll be able to get it out to the public. It's a
Fantastic.
good program. And
It sounds
I think it'll be beneficial to everybody else who's doing it.
Good deal. Thank you very much. All right. With Cardinal Engineering, we have Matt Bogan. Good evening.
I've got a pretty short report this month. On the High Street Bridge project, I've been following up with the state on our plans. They notified me that because of the scope of the project and the impacts on the railroad, that we need to have a full-time inspector, construction inspector on the job, and they require some certifications that I do not hold. So similarly to when we got Dunrob & Associates lined up to do the easement acquisition, there is a revolving statewide contract where they have a handful of consultants on retainer to do work. So instead of doing an RFP and bidding it out ourselves, we can just select somebody off that list and get a cost from them to do the inspection. I'm working on getting some quotes, get somebody, hopefully get a couple to choose from at least. So we get somebody lined up for that. Our road contracts for the year are out to bid right now. We have, if you guys recall, we have it split up into concrete and asphalt. Thinking that maybe, at least with the concrete, we don't have it rolled in with the asphalt. We can have some of the smaller contractors bid on it. We have more competitive prices than to do it all as one lump. So those bid openings will be on the 25th of this month. So at next month's meeting, we'll have the results available for you guys to award that. At the Owens property, Mayor Brown asked us to stake out the parcels for the fire department and police department training areas that are proposed, just to have something for reference, because we've given you guys some aerial views of it, but also to have markings of the field to kind of visualize that better. So trying to get that done in the next couple of weeks. On the MS4 program, our annual report for last year is due on Monday. I'm trying to get that sent to them to the state by the end of this week. The job that we had last month to do repairs on the retention pond at 328 Chardonnay Valley, the contractor got everything patched up and seeded and strawed and took off, and the property owner noticed a couple days later that the leak is in the outlet box is still happening. So I talked to the contractor, and also there was a wooden bridge, just a footbridge that the owners had in, and sustained some damage from the equipment. So the contractor's going to be back out there. They'll patch the hole, patch up those leaks and get that bridge repaired for them. So, and finally, after last month's meeting, Mayor Brown asked me if Cardinal would be interested in hosting like a STEM activity or a contest for Old Fashioned Day. We'd be happy to do that. Have some kind of a prize for students that enter in that. And the other benefit we can have from that is if we do something related to stormwater or pollution prevention or whatever, that can count towards our public education, public outreach requirement for the Division of Water. So we're going to work out the details of that. We'll probably have something for like younger students, kind of. We've seen elsewhere like SD1 does it, where they have like kids can design signs or posters for keep our waterways clean, or don't pollute, whatever. And then something more technical for like high school age students. So I will keep you guys posted on that in the coming months once we work out the details on that. But anybody have any questions? All right.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Okay. All right. First item of business for the evening, we have ordinance number 2023-03. This is a second reading, an ordinance of the City of Walton, Kentucky, amending sections of Chapter 92 of the City of Walton Code of Ordinances in order to classify the tracking or depositing mud or other debris in the streets and road by construction vehicles as a nuisance and setting the fines for violations. Counselor, take it away.
Mayor and council, this ordinance will create a new subsection in our nuisance ordinance. It's very specific relating to mud and other dirt, gravel, and so on roads coming from construction sites. This would allow the city to issue a stop work order if violations continue. And as the mayor indicated, it sets forth a fine schedule which is somewhat enhanced from a regular nuisance fine schedule. First offense is $250, second offense $500, third and thereafter within a 12-month period is $1,000. That is if they pay the fine. If they contest the citation and lose in front of the Code Enforcement Board, all of those numbers are increased to $1,000, $2,000, and $3,000. Each day a violation continues is a separate offense. So if you wish to adopt this ordinance, you can do that by motion at this time.
Motion to approve.
Second. Rose Beach,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Sherry Snowden,
Yes.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
All right. Moving on, ordinance 2023-04, first reading, ordinance of the City of Walton, Kentucky, granting a competitive, non-exclusive franchise to Owen Electric Cooperative Incorporated, also known as Owen Electric, for the erection, laying, operation, and maintenance of electrical transmission and distribution facilities and appurtenant equipment in, along, and across the public ways, roads, streets, alleys, and other public places in the city of Walton, Kentucky, for furnishing and selling electricity by means of said facilities, and authorizing and directing the mayor, city clerk, and city attorney to negotiate and execute an appropriate franchise agreement to carry out the terms of this ordinance.
And Mayor, in order to save you some voice, I'm going to state that this is ordinance 2023-04, but 05 and 06 are related. Kentucky Constitution and laws require that in order for utilities to operate within the public rights-of-way of the city, that they have a franchise. And the franchises either are or are expiring, either are expired or are expiring. So last year we, in following the Constitution and the statutes, we adopted ordinances to create new franchises. We put those out for bid, and Owen Electric and Duke bid on the electric franchises for the areas of town that they currently have distribution, electric transmission and distribution facilities. And Duke Energy also bid on the gas franchise, which they have the gas franchise now for the entire city. The provisions of the ordinance, this is actually the second step. As I indicated, we created the, pardon me, the franchises last year. This ordinance will award the franchises, and then the next step, as the mayor read as part of the title of that first ordinance, we'll enter into a franchise agreement with them. So I sort of lumped all three of those together. You can take them separately if you like. You don't have to vote on first reading, but it is your tradition that you do. So you could either vote on them all three together or separate them out if you'd like. You could do that now if you.
Motion to approve all three.
Second.
Thank you, Duncan.
Rose Beach,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Sherry Snowden,
Yes.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mike, I appreciate you helping to save my voice, but I fear that you were afraid that I couldn't say you're pertinent 3 times.
Well, I already knew that, but we were going to overlook it. And I joke a lot of times, too. I get paid by the word, so that saved you some money.
There you go. All right. So moving on to Resolution 2023-04. So resolution adopting and approving the execution of a municipal aid co-op program contract between the Incorporated City and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Department of Rural and Municipal Aid for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023, as provided in the Kentucky Revised Statutes, and accepting all streets referred to therein as being streets which are a part of the Incorporated City.
And Mayor and Council, this is the annual Municipal Road Aid Cooperative Program. The wording is exactly the same as it is in previous years, except to change the dates and the amount that the state anticipates will be available for us. This year, they anticipate it to be $78,864.39. And if you would like to receive that money from the state, you can approve this resolution by motion at this time.
Motion to approve. Second. That's cool.
Rose Beach. Yes. Amy Long. Yes. Sherry Snowden.
Yes.
Dan Martin.
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
That's cool.
Okay. Good deal. Before we get into council comments, mayor comments, and closed session, I skipped over our audience of citizens. Mr. Morris, do you have anything questions, comments, concerns?
I don't know how much influence you have over the weather here in the city of Walton. I think it was a gorgeous day. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'll take credit when I can, even if I don't deserve it. No, I have no control over the weather, but I was very thankful for today. So, all right. Council comments? Councilwoman Beach? Councilwoman Long?
Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate it.
We've got a large YouTube following.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Councilwoman Snowden?
I'm good, thank you.
Councilman
I don't have
Martin?
anything, Mayor.
Councilman Brown?
I do not have any.
I'll be brief with this, but I do have a few comments. First, thank you to everybody that's been working so hard to try to get our old-fashioned day together. We will be working on a few events besides the old-fashioned day that I would like to see. We have not had a Memorial Day service here in the city for some years now. We will be bringing that back. We will also be working on a few other things. Something I would like for those that are out in YouTube land that we will be announcing shortly. We have, I'm not sure if it's up yet or not, but Giovanna has been working to get a veterans at cityofwalton.org. We are going to ask for pictures of local veterans, either current service members within the city or past members of the city, veterans, pictures of them, and work on a potential for a flag program going forward. So we will be putting that out on social media and asking for those pictures if you have them and would like to send us the pertinent information. That will be coming soon. So check out our website or the app or social media. And also on a sad note, city lost a couple lost one young life due to
Auto accident.
An auto accident, thank you. It's very sad, very young life gone. The granddaughter of a longtime Walton resident and family. Another young lady's life has also been upended in addition to this. I just want to encourage everybody to get an Uber, get a ride home, wherever you can. And pray for the families involved as they're going through it right now. It's very sad. Anytime anyone loses their life, it's very sad. Even more sad when it's a young person, very much full of life with a lot of future ahead of them. That is all I have. And with that, if we could, if council would maybe like to take the opportunity to motion to go into closed session, I would ask that maybe in that motion, ask for a 5-minute recess beforehand so people can go to the restroom and whatnot.
Make a motion to go on for a 5-minute recess.
Okay, the motion for closed session needs to include the language that
I'm sorry.
we put on the agenda. It's pursuant to KRS 618101C to discuss proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of the city. So if you would include that in your motion, we'll put that in our records.
I'll include that.
Okay. Second?
Second, yes.
You include that? Okay.
Yes, I'll include
Thank you.
KRS 61810 to discuss proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of the city.
Rose Beach,
Yes.
Amy Long,
Yes.
Sherry Snowden,
Yes.
Dan Martin,
Yes.
Matt Brown.
Yes.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
You're in recess. You can go.
That's why I asked for. Thank you, everybody.